Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's Fantasy Fiends podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Collier, and I'm here with my beautiful, the amazing, the bearded Andy Peliquin. He's a best-selling author known for it was a
For
little
being awesome.
for
That's
being
what I'm known
awesome.
for,
Yeah,
Stevie.
I was gonna go too far with the jokes. We were just talking about wouldn't it be cool if R.L. Stein came on the air, and I'm like, if I made that joke, there's no way Scholastic would reach out. There's no way we would.
To be fair, I think every other episode we've done so far has kind of put that particular nail in our coffin.
That's the way to say it. Like, you know what? I think I told you guys that I kind of want to be like the new R.L. Stein. When I read that comment that they said would be funny for like a 10-year-old, and I kind of went with it. And I'm trying to think of a new name. So I have Stevie Collier, but I don't want they definitely can't go from, let's say, Goosebumps. They can't go from that to the books I write now. That would be traumatizing. I'm pretty sure you can't make penis jokes in Goosebumps. So I came up with Jack Ripper, but my brother A, just letter A. He's like, yeah, you're gonna name your author name after a murderer. He's like, it sounds cool, but he chopped off a woman's head in the Legends. I was like, yeah, I guess that's not a good idea. And I was like, Stevie Lizard, Stevie Slicer, and I was like, what about Stevie Reaper? What do you think about that? Stevie Reaper. It doesn't rhyme, but it's or should I just change Stevie too?
Why do you need to do a different name?
I thought it would be kind of fun, kind of interesting. You know, when a literary agent got the Corey letter, they would see that, hey, this guy's not like Joe Smith. He's different. I think a lot of the success of Goosebumps was word of mouth with kids, and they remembered R.L. Stein. They remembered that because back in the day when you went to the library, you had to use the Dewey Decimal System. Man, talk about like that's like freaking Morse code for like kids nowadays. They're like Dookie doo-doo system. What the hell are you talking about? Remember that?
I do. I never learned it, but I know it.
I was a library aide, and they made me quit. Like it was like a polite fire because I couldn't do the Dewey Decimal System as fast as the other kids. Oh man, I was so upset over that stupid nerdy ass job. Because that's where all the girls were. They all did library aides. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do library aid. Fun story. I was almost a cheerleader too. Same reason.
That sounds about right.
Same reason. It was either because I was going to do football and cheerleading, which you could do at my private school. And I was like, I think I want to do cheerleading more. I mean, you're just lifting chicks all day, and you got like lunch period to weight lift and stuff. Man, I'm full of it today. Full of it.
More so than normal, it seems.
I told Lisa that I'm a bird that likes to chirp. Because I called her dad that. I was like, that bird likes to chirp. And I was like, God, that's a cat calling the kettle black. Why don't you talk now? Here, Andy, I bestow upon you. You are allowed to use words now.
It's funny. I don't actually have that much to say.
I do.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think that's why this podcast works, Stevie, is you talk, and then I come up with something, and then I talk, and then it's like it brings balance to the force.
Oh man, wonderful choice of words. Like, yeah, it should just be Stevie's Yammering Fantasy Podcast. I do have some really interesting things to talk. What?
Before we get into that, just for those of you who are watching, our guest tonight had sort of a last-minute family thing. Daughter got strep throat, so we had to reschedule them. They will be coming on later, but tonight it's just Stevie and I. And if that's not good enough for you, well, you're on the wrong channel.
Yes, I think most people come for us, and it's actually made me want to like change. So I've been kind of struggling with something, and that's I really want to be an entertainer. It's just really hard in Austin, Texas. So I don't know if anyone's on my Kai Valentine YouTube channel, which I don't like to promote as an author. I don't want to mix the audiences, but I've started being really funny on there, like just like penis joke stuff. And I'm like, how can I do that as an author? I think I'm funny, and I want to do that more. How could I do that? So is TikTok a good idea? But I'm not a 15-year-old
Yeah,
kid,
you're just a little
you know?
bit too old and male for
Yeah.
TikTok,
I
Stevie.
feel like TikTok would be like too try hard. Like I would be like trying hard. I would just look like a pedo or something. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable on TikTok, so my heart's not into it.
That's good. That's probably for the best.
Are you?
So we've got a last minute fill in with the awesome Rebecca Jonesy. This is gonna
Whoa.
get wild.
All right.
Because
Last
who
minute.
knows
So
what's
you
gonna
weren't
happen?
even
Yeah.
listening to what I was saying. You were just talking to someone else.
I was telling you not to get on TikTok, and I feel like that is probably the best piece of advice you're gonna get all night.
Even so, you remind me of a lot of Lisa, and Lisa reminds me a lot of you. It's probably why I get along so with Lisa. And she was like, if you do TikTok, I'm disowning you. So I just like the 15-second kind of funny thing. But once I saw what content was on there, I was like, yeah, go look up TikTok cringe. I can't get past 2 minutes of those compilations.
No, I cannot. I am just not going to be on TikTok, which, it is a social media platform for certain people, but you and I, Stevie, we are not those people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even see how you would monetize it. I hate to take it to money, but I love money, and I don't think I can monetize it. I do have this idea for a YouTube channel called Alpha Geek, and that's where I do being a geek and talking to girls and becoming a better speaker, confidence growing, fashion. I had to learn all that shit.
Oh, so like the geek, and then being sort of like an alpha male while still being a geek.
Exactly. Yeah, and I really hate pickup. I hate girl pickup stuff where you kind of do psychological tricks on women. It's a huge thing, and I would be the opposite of that, like how to be yourself, choose a passion you desire over picking one a girl would like that you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Rebecca?
Rebecca, what's up?
Hi. Well, I released a new book today.
Congratulations. So awesome. What's the book?
Book 5 in this series.
Well, this is
perfect. It is Iron and Madness, and this one got pretty dark.
I'm looking it up. Is it on Amazon?
It's urban fantasy. Yep. I write Mabsdoll series. It is a series about a created fae, as some of the faes are, and she is the daughter of one of the queens, Queen Mab, who is the queen of darkness. Not darkness, excuse me. She's the queen of shadows.
Ooh.
What was your inspiration for this character?
Actually, it was a conversation I was having with Lillian Oak. You guys might know her as Diana Robertson.
Yes.
We were talking one night, I think it was during one of Josh's shows, and we came to the realization that, because we were just chatting, and we came up with the idea of a fae who comes to America to hunt down other fae to take them home. And
to Ireland?
To the Underhill, actually.
Ooh.
Because that is where the fae live.
What kind of accent do they have in the Underhill?
All of them, because they are so old. Some of them are from Pangea.
Ooh. My brother studied Pangea. I didn't even know what the heck that was until my brother came home and told me about it. I was like, the what now? This America wasn't always America? I don't understand. No, that's false.
Some of them, so some of them have been in America when America was Pangea, but some of them came here during the colonization. Some of them walked over on the land bridge. So that is where some of the urban legends and myths come from in America in my series.
Oh, I love it when you get to play with mythology, and when authors do cool things with it. That's my favorite.
I have been playing so far with all of the mythologies.
I feel like mythology is one of the harder things to go with. There's just so much to learn.
And screw it up, and
and I feel like people really get on you I don't have any experience with it, but I know they say that like Norse mythology is extremely complicated. I just know
it is really complex.
I know Majolinar and then Fenrir.
Fenrir, the wolf.
The wolf, yeah.
Every time I hear Fenrir, I think Fenris Wolf from Narnia. Like that was
that is actually where he got his name from.
Well, I know.
I
watched the Narnia cartoon before I ever read Norse mythology, so it's like that's what pops into my head first. Is that old? I don't know if it was the 1980s or something. Narnia cartoon with Turkish delight.
I remember that. Yeah.
There's a cartoon about Narnia.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good, and that's actually what made me think of Jadis, the character in my series. Is I loved the character of Jadis, the White Witch, from that Narnia cartoon more so than from the books. Just seeing that, I was just like, I loved it.
I never heard of that. I've heard of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
And there's a Lord of the Rings one too. Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit cartoons, like old.
Yeah, I've seen the Bilbo.
The Hobbit.
And like Bilbo's like this super obese dude in that one. I feel like, if I remember correctly, I think have you guys ever heard of the? What's up?
They drew all of them like dwarves with like these big chunkin' bellies.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just feel like they're, I don't know, halflings are an interesting. Leave it to Tolkien to create something that's not a dwarf, but not not a, what is that freaking thing from Dungeons and Dragons? Autumn. There's like that. It's not a halfling, but it's kind of taken from a halfling. Not a tiefling. It's
a halfling.
Kinder. Yeah, that's like a smaller little thief thingy. I don't know where I was going with any of this, but man, they're wow. I am a total dweeb. We all are here. We are like, was it a tiefling? No. And I think it's even worse when you call yourself one. You're like, oh my god, I'm such a gamer girl.
Better dweeb than a weeb, Stevie. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I got some news. Yeah.
Oh no, we all know you're a weeb. Like that's like since like episode 2 of the podcast.
It's bad when you're watching like anime with your girlfriend and like an anime girl comes on with like these big boobs. You're like, what the hell do you do? The Japanese people made it for the man, obviously. And you're just like, this is uncomfortable. Like, and she's like all blushing and stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I mean, you try carrying those things around.
I do. Since I have been weightlifting, they are changing into boobs. What was I going to
until they weigh, 12 pounds apiece.
Oh my god. Yikes. That's
I've got back problems enough, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, no one ever asked me about my back again. Rebecca, Andy.
How is your back doing, Stevie?
It's actually healed. My mom got me on a steroid and I got jacked. No, but I ate like a pig though. Steroids make you freaking starving. My god, I was going through bags of chips and shit. I didn't care. I was like, I gotta eat something. I gotta eat. But yeah, it's healed. I'm actually exercising again, doing a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and flopping around.
Flopping around, I'm sure, helps it heal.
Rebecca, what do you do every day? By the way, I feel like I don't really know you that well yet. Let me get to know you. Let Andy and I get inside that brain.
You see that?
Yes.
Behind her.
3
Furies.
Oh, that's your.
I am the COO of the publishing company, 3 Furies Press.
COO is Chief Operating Officer.
Operation, yep.
Officer, yeah. I remember having to take an exam on that, and it's like it's just shows you how screwed up the education system is. Even sometimes in college, you're like, I know what these are, but I don't know what they are.
I know the word. What does the word do?
Exactly.
Yeah, today we were talking about, did you ever figure out what we were talking about, Rebecca? Like, was it collateral damage? Was that the word we were looking for?
Yes, that was the word I couldn't word.
We were talking about
damage.
an attack on one person, and there's civilians around, and so eventually we just decided we're going to call it splash damage because we couldn't figure out the word collateral damage.
And splash damage sounds so terrible and
It really is.
I was like, let's go for it. Let's just go for it. Yeah.
Well, like if
Not
it's
the
like
right word.
napalm style, attack, then it would work splash damage. But yeah, it was a good day.
What was? You're talking about your special podcast that you had?
No. I was talking with Rebecca about some story ideas earlier for the Cerberus series, and we were figuring. Actually, that's my good news for this week is that as of 1:30 p.m. Pacific time today, I finished the outlines for all 6 books remaining in the Cerberus series.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I totally had to refigure so many of them. Like, it took me an entire week. I outlined the whole Heirs of Destiny series in like a day, 2 days tops. It took me a week. I had to hike 1.5 miles up into the mountains so I could walk and think to figure out one book. Like, it's insane how complex these stories have become thanks to my brain, which is unnice to me because they just make things very complex. But all 6 books are outlined. So as of tomorrow, I start writing book 7. Very excited about that.
Jesus, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish all 6 before the end of the year. My goal is to have them all finished by the end of the year, because if I can do that, then I can start working on the last of the Hero of Darkness series at the beginning of next year. But we will see if I can pull it off or not.
How about
I still need to finish reading those.
Yeah, Andy, why don't you just slow the fact down and let me catch up? That'd be great.
No, I'm having so much fun with this series. Like, everything is just so complicated. I spent like 2 hours talking about taking down a terrorist organization.
Nice.
For one book, and I had to figure it all out. And it is just insane how complicated these things get. But it's so interesting because it's stuff that I would never have thought about, or I would never have learned any other way.
How did you do the research for this?
Oh, just talking to people, Googling, looking at all kinds of stuff.
So you do a lot of that, and I'm just curious, do you ever get backlash, like people just hey, it's none of your business or anything like that, or has everyone been really nice?
Honestly, I don't think I've found someone yet who's said fuck off. Most people are I think 1 or 2 people have been it's not something I really want to talk about, and that's fine. But most of the time, I'll put out a post on Facebook, I'm looking for information about something, private message me. And there's always 1 or 2 people, or I've actually contacted people directly on Twitter because I wanted to get information that it was an author who was pansexual, right? This is a very, very specific niche, writing pansexual characters. It's not something that a lot of people would. Well, I don't know that about you, Rebecca. And I think this was before your time.
What? Okay, so pansexual is. I'm very ignorant. Maybe
people who are sexually attracted to people regardless of gender or genitalia.
So it's like you're not attracted to a specific part of their body. It's like a specific thing attracts you. Like, think about whatever it is that attracts you to Lisa. Those traits, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's physical things too, personality traits. Now, the gender is not a factor in it.
Wow. Okay. Whoa. So what if they have no genitalia? It's the same thing. You're just attracted to.
And there you go. Yeah, same thing.
So it's pretty beautiful.
Or if they're hermaphrodites and they have both.
Yeah.
It sounds quite nice, actually. It seems like everyone should be like
it. It is quite nice. Yeah. I mean, you have a type, and the type isn't tied to. Usually, is not tied to anything physical. Like, my type is brainy people. I'm actually sapiosexual. I'm attracted to people who are smart, who are intelligent, who can talk and communicate well.
Oh.
So gender, genitals, none of that matters.
Could you say the name again?
Sapiosexual?
Sapiosexual. So, and that has
Do
to
you
do with
need me
intelligence.
to spell that out for you?
No. I was actually trying to break it apart, but it still doesn't make sense to me. Is this so?
Sapient.
Yeah. So is that the intelligent part, or is there like a subgenre of this now?
What?
So we have
No.
pansexual.
No. So sapiosexual is something else. So
it's
pansexual is referring to a specific attraction, right? And sapiosexual is another attraction concept.
Yeah, so you can be sapiosexual and also be heterosexual.
Okay.
You're only attracted to someone who is smart and of the opposite gender.
Got you. I got you. So would you say that most people who don't even know what sapiosexual is, like they actually are kind of sapiosexual? Like I like smart girls.
But is that what attracts you to them sexually?
Oh,
that's the question.
Okay. Then no.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I would say that more than likely Stevie is boobiosexual.
A what now? O-sexual?
Boobiosexual.
Boobiosexual. Okay. Yeah. I am honestly, I get that question a lot, and I'm just kind of I don't know.
You get asked a lot if you're boobiosexual?
No, well, like when you're with guys and like you a boob guy or a butt guy, and I'm like, I'm an eyes guy. I like nice eyes. I've ever since fourth grade I've liked nice eyes. But an athletic, I guess, is enough. Andy, let's have Stevie's love corner.
Why don't you tell us your good news for the week, Stevie?
That sounds like a sticky corner.
It's not sticky anymore. I have the fan going on it, so it's just like dried silicone.
Oh, so it's crusty now.
Crusty/flaky.
Yeah, and like whenever it flakes off, the like fan shoots.
All right, Stevie, no.
You take his cat out of that house for its own
safety. We can't have you on the podcast if you lead Stevie off too many weird tangents.
Yes. You knew what was going to happen, Andy, bringing on Rebecca. We worked too well together.
I can bring up a subject to talk about instead if you'd rather. And also, I sent you both readings if you want.
Oh, where?
Nice. We need a reading.
I emailed it to Andy and I messaged it to Stevie because I don't have Stevie's email.
On Facebook? Okay.
Yep.
So my good news for the week is I actually have a really good... So I finished book 2 in the series, and Jonathan thinks it's even better than book 1. Really excited about that one. Put a lot of humor into it, and he said I could go even more, which I was like, that's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
That's good news. And I came up with a new name for the Ninja series, which I want to call Nebula Ninja 3000, something like that.
Dude, that sounds like a sex toy. Why do you always have to come up with stuff that sounds like sex erotica, Stevie?
Because I'm a naive little boy, okay?
Because it's the only thing he reads.
The Nebula Ninja 3000 is 100% a sci-fi space toy. Like, no way it could be anything else.
And it runs on diesel and has a kickstart.
My God. What if... Okay, well, that is my good news. I'm not stuck on the name. I did flesh out the story a little bit. That's my good news. Andy, what's yours?
I already shared mine. But you know what? Let's...
okay.
The title of today's podcast was Lessons Learned During Lockdown. And I want us to talk about that just for a few minutes before we get to the reading. It was actually kind of interesting. I put it in my email to my newsletter readers, which goes out in a couple of days. But it's like actually sitting and taking time to think about some of the things that I have learned during this time in lockdown. Stevie, I know you're going to have lots of kind of things that you can talk about on these things. Well, just think about one. Rebecca, think about one, I guess, lesson that you've learned during lockdown. The one thing that I have learned the most is sort of acceptance. And this is something that has been sort of hammered home, especially in the last week. I went into outlining these 6 books thinking, oh, yeah, I'll finish it, 2 days, done. It's taken me a week, right? 2 weeks ago, I might have lost my shit. Holy shit, I can't figure this out. It's not happening. But then after sort of being locked down for so long and not really having a choice of doing all these kind of things, it's like, well, all I can do is stay home, the options are so limited. I've kind of had to accept that. It's been easier for me to just accept that I am not figuring things out as fast as I want, and that's okay. You know, like it's not necessarily bad that it's taken me a whole week to outline these stories, because the stories are going to be awesome at the end of things. And rushing it or feeling stressed because it's not going as fast as I want isn't going to get me anywhere. Just like worrying, or, you hear people complaining about wanting to get out of the house. I want to get out of the house too. I mean, not as much as other people, but accepting that there are limitations to my circumstances, imposed upon me by Prime Minister Trudeau and the BC government, is helped me sort of accept that there are limitations to what my brain is capable of, or my creative imagination abilities. And so coming to that acceptance has really taken a huge load off of my shoulders in the last week. So that's my lesson.
Oh, that was really well thought out. I just have to say, like, has it been that hard for a lot of people? What do they do during the week that makes it where they're like, man, this quarantine's driving me crazy? Like, what else would they be doing? Maybe, and it made me realize, like, do I just have like a boring life? Because I feel like I haven't really been affected staying home. I feel I'm so happy to be home.
Well, you don't have kids, right? You don't have kids who are going insane and driving you insane around your house.
That's very true.
You have a job that you work from home.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have writing, I would be going insane, because I would be home all day long and there would be nothing to do. So like we three are lucky enough that our work is at home. So being locked in is like, it's almost like, yay, or nothing changes in my case. But for people like my wife has been home for a month and a bit now, and she doesn't really have work to do. So days like today where, she runs a couple of errands, drops the boys off at work, comes home, sits around. It's frustrating because she's so used to working and doing things and going and pushing and having something to get up in the morning for and working, and all of a sudden not having it. That is stressful. So I can understand how people are feeling that stressed.
Yeah,
I can totally get it.
Now that you put it that way, I guess I just thought that I was thinking in the very simple sense, like they just want to go outside and do something. And, but yeah, that makes total sense that you have kids and you kind of want them to go away. I don't know. Funny enough, I've had dreams that I've had kids this past couple of weeks, which is scaring me. And I keep going to Lisa like, yeah, hey, I see you're eating some chocolate there. You having any weird cravings? And then after the slap is done, I get told that we're not pregnant. So dang it, it's not working. Wow, that was a lot of information. I apologize, people.
Way too much, Stevie.
I apologize.
Tell us one of the lessons that you've learned during this lockdown time.
Well, honestly, I really liked yours. And I did learn something from lockdown, and that is the importance of organization and cleanliness. And I'm not talking hygiene, obviously, which I've heard people like saying that hygiene is important while you're in quarantine. Like, well, freaking duh, obviously. But mine is organization. I would show you my desk, but it's not organized. But I have
it's a lesson in progress.
Yeah, but I have a whiteboard and I'm getting everything situated. I've hired and delegated work to 4 virtual assistants. Life has gotten a lot better with it. Kind of slowed everything down. Yeah, business went crazy, but with this quarantine, I've been able to organize. I even have an Excel spreadsheet of one of my worlds. I've never done that before. So that's my lesson. You need to slow down and organize your life and organize that foundation that you have. That's my lesson.
That ties nicely in with my outlining thing. Like, especially going over this for the last week, I realized that if I had not taken this week to get things right, oh man, it would have been a total shit show.
I bet.
Like, I think... Nope, 0 of the books that I initially had planned remain unchanged. Like, I had to do extensive research or have extensive conversations about all 6 of the stories that I originally had planned, because I had them totally wrong, or wrong enough that I needed to change them. And so had I not taken the time beforehand to organize, when it came time to sit down and write, I would have had to totally overhaul it. And so that kind of organization is going to save me a ton of time, and it helps me to keep things on track as I'm going to write it.
So is quarantine the reason why you did this? I feel like you've always been that way.
No, this is my process.
That sounds like a book. This is my process. When you're super rich and famous, because you will one day, obviously, that's your on writing is this is my process. You got to do it in a Russian accent.
I think my brain is just weird. Rebecca, what is a lesson that you've learned during lockdown?
Actually, one of the lessons I learned was people really are herd animals, and all the good and bad that comes with it. You know, herd animals, they like their routines, they like their past, they know where they're going, what they're doing, and as soon as you screw that up, they go insane.
That's so true.
And if you remove them from their herd, the people they're used to being around, they start to break down and change. And sometimes that's a good thing. They might be able to like see it as, you know, as an opportunity, but other people see it as a calamity. So, you know, isolation does weird things to all of us, even if it's just a perceived isolation, because let's face it, most of us aren't really isolated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, we're not actually in quarantine. We're just supposed to be social distancing. But like, I have a goddaughter, bless her sweet little heart, who turned 18 when she was in lockdown. And she's an extrovert, like, you know, most teen girls are. And she cracked down so much she, no joke, gave herself prison tattoos at home.
Wow.
With a
marker
pen and pen ink.
She
just sat there and stabbed herself repeatedly to make a design, because like that was always what she was going to do on her 18th birthday. She was going to go get her first tattoo. Oh my God. But of course, all the tattoo parlors are closed.
Yeah.
She is a tough person. That sounds like the purest hell. Like that made my hands sweat. I hate needles.
That's my girl.
God dang. Wow. What can we know her name, her first name? Samantha. Wow. I thought you were gonna say like she broke down and cried. I'm like, oh yeah. No, she gave herself prison.
No, she was laughing.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. She gave herself three.
Oh, we're not doing
terrible.
One. Oh no.
They're terrible.
Are they?
I was like, oh, so you've got a broken Pac-Man and a cat butt. Good job. She's like, no, it's the sun and the moon.
you gotta have the picture. I mean, if Samantha will let you send us the picture, please do.
I have the pictures.
Okay, we'll ask her permission, or if you're that kind of godmommy, I'll just. I don't know how to handle this. I've never been in this situation before. I'm scared of Samantha, to be honest with you. She knows I'm an awesome.
She's one of my kiddos.
Wow. Well, I wasn't expecting the prison tattoos, and then I wasn't expecting her to get 3. Where are they exactly? Like on her arm?
She did one on each ankle, on the inside of both ankles, and then she did one on her middle finger that says "fuck off."
Oh, good.
Which you can't see at all. It faded within days, thankfully.
Oh, good.
Because it was the whole finger.
So the bone on the inside of the ankle, like she just went at it. What did she use?
She went just below the bone. She at least did listen to me well enough about things like that. We've had talks about tattoos before. So she went for the fleshy part right below the ankle bone. And they're small. They're only about that big, so they already started fading, thankfully.
Wow.
She did not go deep enough.
I went
and that was week 2.
Week 2. Give it up for week 2. And I mean
week 2, and she's an essential employee, so she was still going to work every day, but she couldn't hang out with her friends.
What does she do, if you don't mind me asking?
She works at Bojangles.
What's a Bojangles? Like a grocery store?
Bojangles is a chicken place. It's fast food.
Okay. Yeah, we have
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Is that okay. So, well, thank you, Samantha, for your awesome story. Tell her to come watch this episode, Rebecca. Props to you, Rebecca. I can't even go to a parlor and get a real tattoo. So kudos. That sounds scary as crap. And
they're not that bad.
They're not that bad. I hear mixed.
They're not that bad, Stevie.
Yeah.
Andy, You might.
I
As
do
well.
suggest not getting one on your collarbone.
Oh
Yeah, that's not a great place.
I talk about it with Lisa. I would want like a Pokeball. I want Dragon Ball Z. I just want my nerd culture that I really.
He wants things with balls on his tattoos.
I want all the balls.
He wants the Pokeball. He wants the Dragon Ball.
Dragon Balls.
He wants the Benoit ball.
Wait, the who? The what?
Benoit. Google it. We're not going to talk about what it is. But Google it, Stevie.
Am I going to get in trouble with the police? Oh, yeah. I like those things. I like holding those balls in my hand. Yes.
All right, and that just got weird. Weirder than usual.
No. Okay. So one thing that quarantine has affected is I can't get a haircut. It takes a specific person to do my hair because it's really long. So I have to kind of like see a female who cuts women's hair. I don't like saying that out loud, but she works at a barber shop, so she cuts guys' hairs only.
Yeah, you've got really long hair, Stevie.
I don't have it as long. I think for a guy, it's pretty long, but it's definitely not.
It is pretty long, but I have guys cut my hair.
Do you really? Where at?
The barber shop.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
The barber shop is the only place I trust to cut my hair because they're not like crazy stylists. You let them get a hold of your hair and they're like, oh, but you look so cute in a bob. And I'm like, oh, you look so cute in a cast.
Or a coffin. Here, I want you to meet Samantha. Awesome. So that was our theme for today. It kind of went off the rails, but I think, Jesus Christ, I'm surprised we had a oh my God, what is the last name? Reading last week, and I feel like we didn't get a lot of people, but when it's just us three with Rebecca, it's going crazy. See, people just love us shooting the shit, and I love that about our community. Thank you, Rebecca.
Oh, I thought it was because they loved me.
Well, I think that's part of it too.
I see where you took it, Stevie.
Yes,
it would have been a perfect opportunity for Stevie to compliment our guests and make them feel good about themselves. But instead, he made it egocentric. No. That's what the Fantasy Fiends podcast is all about.
Stevie's ego podcast. I did. I think it is because Rebecca.
Go sit in your corner, Stevie.
What? Not the sticky corner, please. The semen has turned sharp on the ground.
No, Stevie, it's so much funnier when you allude to things without straight up going gross.
You sound just like the priest at my old school. So should we get into the reading on that note?
Let's do it. Yes.
I don't like my facial hair. I look like a biker. You see that?
This is dark.
It's dark.
Good.
It is creepy.
All right. I want to do the growling. Oh, it says growing frustrated. I thought it was growling frustrated, but I'm gonna read
There
the
is one little girl and one insane man.
Oh, insane! How insane are we talking?
Pretty insane. He quacked like halfway through. Yes, at the end.
Okay.
At the beginning, he's trying to entice the little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to play the little girl, Rebecca?
No, I do not. I want to be the narrator.
I
think Stevie should be the little girl, and that's why I picked this scene.
I figured that was going to be me. Can I have another character, or is that it? Just the little girl?
There's only two.
Okay, good. Andy, you be the big, strong man, and I'll be the little girl.
If it helps, the little girl is totally deadpan. No emotion, no nothing.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I want to see where this goes. A deadpan little girl. Okay. I've never met one of those, gotta say.
You've never heard a child talk in deadpan, zero voice?
Am I thinking the same thing?
Like in monotone, as if they have no emotions or they're completely disconnected.
If they're pretending like a robot, I guess. I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time with kids, which I'm happy to say. That doesn't sound awkward at all.
I've got like 30 of them, so.
You. Oh.
I have many goddaughters, godsons, nieces, nephews.
I bet this quarantine is driving you crazy then.
Kids I just, picked up along the way.
You've got that good spirit about you. That good, friendly spirit, and people can trust you. See, there's my compliment. Yeah. There's my compliment.
There you go.
It's very true. Before we start, I want to talk to you all about Jesus Christ, who died for your sins.
Stop.
Stop, Jesus. No, not possible. Look. You think you can stop this, Andy?
It's
can't.
bro Jesus.
You can't stop this.
I think I can protect you from it, though.
Do you want to see something funny? Look,
It's my tank.
it's like I got a picture of myself on there, except I'm 50 pounds heavier with muscle. Okay, y'all ready to start? Andy, come on, man.
I'm ready.
Stick to the show.
All
Okay.
right, are you ready?
Yes.
A small form moved slowly up the trail. Her dark eyes reflected none of the smattered moonlight that trickled through the leafy canopy. Despite her tiny size and blatant immaturity, she traversed the rugged terrain with purposeful intent, even if it was slowly done. Every 100 yards or so, she would pause as if she were listening for something before moving on again, slowly changing her direction as if she were tracking some unseen thing in the darkness. The only detours she took were ones of necessity as she moved around obstacles too large for her small form to overcome. Without fail, she picked the shortest detour each time, as if she could not only see in the dark, but could see further ahead of her path as well. Even when a larger shape moved up behind her and began to stalk her through the night, she did not alter her pattern or slow her course. The larger shape moved more slowly than she, picking a halting path that ran slightly parallel to hers. A man's form took shape as he moved away from the trees where he had been skulking. He could not match the child's ease of movement, and despite his longer legs, he did not catch up, falling farther behind as he had to keep backtracking to find a route he could squeeze through. Growing frustrated at his inability to reach the child, the man finally called out in a loud voice,
Where are you going out here, little girl?
Oh my God.
What's your name? Maybe I can help you.
Wow.
without slowing or turning her head, as he had expected of a child being startled in the dark of the woods. The little girl calmly responded,
I am called Zoe. I am trying to get home.
The man's lips parted in a grim smile out of her sight.
I can take you someplace that's safe.
I do not want some place that is merely safe. I want to go home.
That gave the man pause for a moment before he scurried forward, resorting to scrabbling along on his hands and feet as he ducked under thick growth that blocked his path.
Are you saying that home isn't safe for you? Why don't you come with me? I can take you somewhere where you will always be safe.
I did not say that at all. I am saying that I want to go home. Even if it will not be safe there, I have to go home.
Well, I can assure you it's not safe out here. There are monsters in these woods.
Fuck.
The girl paused finally, and the man thought he was finally getting through to her. The girl did not understand. She was too young to understand the types of dangers children could face out here in the wilderness, so far away from the rest of civilization. Staring down at his footing, the man tried once again to move close enough to the child that he could finally grab her.
There are no monsters in these woods.
The girl responded evenly and started moving again before the man had halved the distance between them.
I assure you there are. I've seen them with my own eyes. Evil, vicious monsters that do terrible things to little kids. It's not safe for you to be out here, but I can make sure those monsters never touch you.
The man called out in exasperation.
I do not fear any monsters which you may think you have seen.
The girl's self-assured tone gave the man a start, and he stopped moving. He stared at her again, watching the way she moved. She did not seem very childlike to him, now that he was paying closer attention. Could he have been mistaken? No. She was certainly a child, dressed in shorts and a t-shirt with a little stylized wolf head on it. They were coated in dirt, as were her shoes. It appeared she had been on her own for quite some time. This wasn't a child recently lost. She had been out here for quite a while. That might explain why she was acting so oddly. Had the monsters gotten to her already? He peered through the darkness at the little girl. There was no blood on her, so he couldn't be certain. Throwing caution to the wind, he shoved his way through branches and bushes, fighting for every step until he could get in front of the child. Despite her words, he knew the truth. There were evil things out here, and he had to get her away from here before the monsters found her. He moved into a fairly open area in front of her walking path and waited for her to reach him. It only took a moment, and she didn't seem to even notice him standing there. Instead, she kept staring in the same direction she had been all along. That's when he saw it. While the light from the heavens reflected off of the man's windbreaker, it did not reflect off of the child's black eyes. The man sucked his breath in between teeth clenched tight as his eyes went wide. His whole body began to shake in fear.
You do not fear the monsters because you are a monster.
I am not a monster.
The girl responded uncaringly.
I do not want to hurt anyone. I simply want to go home.
You can't fool me.
The man shouted as he started backing away. Her flat, unconcerned tone scared him even more now that he knew what had caused it. It wasn't the trauma of surviving a monster attack. It was the heartlessness of being a monster at her core that did it.
I know monsters when I see them. I've seen others of your kind. I know what you are.
The girl faced him squarely then, turning her entire body to face him. Her eyes narrowed down to slits. It felt to him as if she was peering into his soul and weighing its worth, or maybe its flavor. He shivered again and tried to back away from the child he had been so intent on helping.
You have seen others like me? Where are they? They might be able to help me get home.
Terror ran hot and wet down his leg and into his sock as he whimpered.
As if I would tell you, I won't help the monsters. No! I'm out here to stop the monsters and the sick games they play. I won't tell you.
With that, the man started cackling and turned and fled. He scrambled and crashed through the woods, looking over his shoulder repeatedly to see if she was following. The black-eyed child watched him run for a moment, contemplating what he had suggested, then turned back to her route and continued to pick her path again.
What the
That
hell?
was pretty
awesome.
good deadpan, Stevie.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, you're complimenting me. You were awesome. And wow, Rebecca, Jesus Christ. I had no idea where that was going. I thought like he was gonna try and, abuse her, and then I thought she was gonna kill him. And I was wrong on everything. Was not expecting that. Wow.
Or were you?
I don't know. The whole time I was biting my fingers, like just rewind the video of me, and I was like, what the heck?
You guys know the story of the black-eyed children?
No, I don't know that one.
It's a creepypasta. No?
Not familiar with it.
I like creepypasta.
Black-eyed children are, like they sound. They're kids, but they've got solid black eyes. And there's usually more than one. They always come up and say, I'm lost. I need to go home. You need to take me home. You need to take me home. You need to take me home. Invite me in so I can go home.
I don't like that at all. I don't like kids in horror movies.
So many. Yeah.
I don't like that at all. They
so this is,
shit out of me.
I don't like either one of those things. So black-eyed children are like the double whammy for me that I love so much. I love to hate.
That's really unsettling, the kids stuff. If you get a chance, everyone, go read up on the Korean. You talking about creepypasta reminded me of the elevator story that you can like go to a hell, a different dimension, and it doesn't sound scary, but Lisa made me listen to this podcast and I was creeped out. So that's it's a good creepypasta thing, Rebecca, if you like that stuff. But wow, that was excellent, Rebecca. Where can people get that book? It's on Amazon, right? Or are you?
It's on Amazon. It's on Kobo. It's on Apple. I go wide. It's also on threetheoriespress.com, and you can just grab me in the drop down, Rebecca Jonesy.
And the title is
find all my books there. The title is Iron and Madness.
Iron and Madness.
Are any of your books on audio? Not
No,
yet.
none of my books are on audio yet.
Okay.
No.
That would be a fun thing to put on audio.
However, if they would like to hear more readings, they can always join my Facebook group, which is Becca's Books, BEKAH''S on Facebook, and I do readings and chats every Thursday.
Ooh.
Definitely do that. I'm taking more like control of Fantasy Fiends podcast, so I can not like power away from Andy, but I'm putting more effort into it. So I will get links added in. And Rebecca, if you just shoot me the link to that, I'll put it in the doobly-doo, the diddly-doo, whatever that thing's called, the description. Awesome. Well,
You should
Rebecca,
definitely put it in your doobly-doo.
I will put it in my doobly-doo. Andy, we're making a t-shirt called that. I'm making a shirt. It's Andy. Who do we have next week?
Next week we have Derek Allen Sidaway talking about his Griffin series, or I think his Griffin series.
I think we've had one person that did Griffins. We talked about the like anatomy of it. Remember, it wasn't a hippogriff. It was a long time ago. Andy, we've been doing this crap for a long time.
Yep, we have.
Wow, yeah. So that's going to be interesting. We don't do Griffins a lot, and we also have a lot of awesome sci-fi authors coming up. I have Richard Fox trying to get Kurt Cole. So we are the Fantasy Fiends, but we do now do sci-fi.
Double the sci-fi.
We're double stuffed. By the way, Nutter Butters just came out with double stuff. So if you want to get your Nutter stuffed, go get double stuffed Nutter Butters. I actually had to lay down for 2 hours because I ate too much.
Are Nutter Butters like Reese's?
They're peanut butter cookies, and my favorite.
Oh, dude, your life
Andy,
is sad.
I'm Canadian.
I want my blood changed to Nutter Butter mush. I love it.
Anita knows what Nutter Butters are.
Oh, Andy.
If they're anything,
they are so good.
If they're
it's a peanut butter cookie with a peanut butter cream filling, but it's not very creamy. It's more just peanut buttery, and it's shaped like a little peanut. And it's delicious.
I'm happy to receive packages of cookies to my home to try them out.
I'm going to do that.
Throwing that out there.
Brownies, I hear.
Brownies are my weakness.
That's like that guy on American Dad. I don't know if anyone watches that scientist. Brownies. That's you, Andy.
I think that's like one episode that's in.
Wow, you know your American Dad. It is one episode. They have him in a couple, but I did not know that about you, Andy. Wow. Rebecca, so you have your Facebook group. Do you have a website, or is it your publication website is your website?
Rebecca Jonesy at blogspot.com. I am sending you the links now.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Well, Rebecca, that was awesome. Love the freaking reading. Go and check her out on Amazon, Kobo, all the places, or just go buy it from her website. We'll have links down below. Andy, any other updates before we end this podcast?
None. Well, actually, there are a couple more sort of special things in the works to be added to the Fantasy Fiends podcast channel. It won't be regular weekly podcast episodes. It'll be something special that we are still planning. So stay tuned because shit's going to get fun.
Like real fun, like no joke. And we should have a Stevie's Corner where you just let me talk to a wall, and it's a 2-hour special every day.
Absolutely. It really is. Just no one's recording it.
Talk to the wall. I mean, you don't know what's going down chest below the chest, but anyway,
the end of podcast.
End of podcast. Thank you.
The cat's always jumping on the desk.
Oh my God. Rebecca's too easy of a guest on here. Like we work too well together. Thank you, Rebecca, so much for being on the air with us. We love the writing. Thank you so much for letting us do that reading. Guys, we will see you all next week for an awesome Fantasy Fiends podcast. You got to be there because we may have a new update for you on what's coming to the channel. We don't know just yet. Guys, thank you so much. We love you all, and we'll catch you next week.
Good night.
Goodbye. Was that you, Rebecca?